We wish to welcome you once more to Hunters Entertainment on twitch.tv. My name is Nux Weiler-Burf, and I am your game master and guide through a dark and challenging world of survival horror. This game, Outbreak Undead, is not for the faint of heart. And just as we do every Tuesday, we are exploring a dark post-apocalyptic world of our own making. I, as the game master, have confirmed consent with each and every one of my players, and our lines and veils have been very firmly drawn. We have safety protocols in place to assist and protect everyone at the table tonight, and we ask you for your consent as well. We encourage you to read the content warnings very closely. This game offers us all opportunities to explore dark themes and to shine a light on the human condition in the safe confines of our imagination, but that takes bravery, and it takes the support of everyone, including you. You are a part of this game, as much as the players who are currently embodying the survivors that you'll meet tonight. Not every character here, however, is being played with the same objectives and motivations. Some are working against the other players. They're in communication with dangerous outside forces. They've made choices that may very well work against those that they are traveling with. This isn't like many other role-playing games that you may be used to. There are no magical swords to be discovered here, no valiant knights, no castle walls to hide behind. Everything that occurs here is based in the humanity that we wish to explore. But in that humanity, there is a fragility and a danger. You see, this world wears a very familiar face, but a face that died a long time ago. It is the dying gasp of a civilization that you recognize now, but after years of apocalyptic living, you may not recognize any longer. Still, in the greatest darkness, hope burns the brightest. We hope to show you that here in this session tonight. I would like to thank both JB Jara and Alex Hillman for the endless support, technical wizardry, and steadfast support that they have given us. I'd also like to thank the entire Hunters team for helping us to make this campaign happen. Simply put, we would not be here without their sponsorship and kindness. If you are new here, if this is your first time joining us for Outbreak Undead Rag and Bone, then I would ask that you please consider signing up for our Scry program in the panels below. With it, you can engage directly with communities of our apocalypse. You can take on the role of a survivor yourself, and you can help to divert much-needed resources and goods to where you think they'll do the most good, or perhaps the most harm. Your choices tonight will make the difference between life and death. There are many settlements within the Rag and Bone universe. There are factions. There are enemies waiting in the shadows. All of them want the same thing. One more day. They wish to continue to survive, and they're willing to do almost anything to make that survival happen. What will you do? What choices will you make? Our tireless undead moderators are in the chat right now, and they're prepared to help you answer those questions and more. They will support your efforts. We ask that you be kind to them, respect them, listen to them. If you enjoy what we're doing here tonight, then we would also ask that you make some noise for us on social media. You can help to grow our pool of survivors, bring others into the fold, others who you feel might enjoy this particular brand of dark ride. You can join our Discord to connect directly with those who you've met here tonight and continue your personal story of survival. We encourage you to do so. Enough of all of that, however. I'd like to introduce you to the players in tonight's little nightmare. Michelle, would you like to introduce yourself talk a little bit about the character that you'll be playing and tell everyone about what you do elsewhere on the internet.
Sure thing. Hey, I'm Michelle Wynn Bradley, and I am here every Tuesday, and also, sorry. And on Wednesdays, you can find me over on Official Paizo's channel. We have 2 more episodes left of our Starfighter campaign, one tomorrow and one next week before the finale, so come check it out. And also, I am over on the Total Nerd YouTube channel. I talk over there all the time about video games and why they're good, why they're bad, and why old ones are insanely hard and you cannot beat them. And Here I am Faith, and last time we saw Faith, goodness gracious, I was watching out for a hail of arrows. Pretty sure I got hit. I got some injury here that I have in my character sheet. Things are not looking great. Something happened to Omar. We don't know what yet, and Omar is my adopted brother, and I don't know. I'm kind of thinking there's gonna be a character death today, so I'm a little worried.
There very well may be a character death. None of you are in a very fruitful position. Your lives are on the line, to be certain. Markia, would you like to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what you do across the internet, and tell everyone about the character that you're playing?
Hello, I'm Markia McCarty. I am, obviously, a person that plays here with you on Tuesday nights. Along with that, this upcoming Sunday, I'll be on QE Times with B Zelda, be fleshing out some of their backstory for a character that they have. I should have the name of the show, I realize, like pulled up in front of me. That would be the professional thing to do. But I do not. But it is QE Times. It starts at 5 p.m. PT. So you might want to check it out there. And you can follow me on social media on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Markia McCarty. Here on Twitch, I'm at Darth Markia, and Facebook, it's Markia TV. And if you're into horror, like you love horror, check out Something Scary on YouTube, youtube.com/snarled. We have weekly horror episodes, drops a new one every Tuesday. My character that I'm playing tonight, Achira, she is a roguey stealthy type. But got very much into her feels last episode while she was connecting with Alex Ward's character Gravedigger, or also known as Digger, where both of them talked about a character that is no longer with them, Juniper slash Olive, as far as they know, is no longer with them. And then unfortunately they got distracted, and Digger, who's a really great at spying everything and walking with the dead, stepped into a bear trap and almost lost his foot, as far as we knew at the end of the past episode. So we'll see, because we're also in the middle of an ambush.
We will see. Hopefully Digger will be able to make it out alive, but given the situation and the condition that he finds himself in, it may be very difficult to help him survive. You have to move quickly. We'll see what happens. Melee, would you like to talk a little bit about what you do across the internet, who you are, and perhaps a little bit about the character that you'll be playing tonight?
Hi there, I'm Melee Damage. You can find me on all the socials, or whatever they are, /Melee Damage. And that is the best way to keep up to date on all of the things I'm doing, because there is a lot of stuff coming up, too much to go into detail, but stay updated on there, and I will keep you up to date as fast as I can. Tonight I will be playing Rowan. I was not here last week, but I heard that we have found ourselves in quite a sticky situation. So interested to see how that goes.
I hope you approve with the choices that I made for Rowan. However, I will say that she has survived and done her best to put herself in a position where she is not hanging in the wind. That said, everything that happens from this point forward will be up to you. Luis, welcome back. Would you like to talk a little bit about who you're going to be playing tonight and where people can find you on the internet?
Yes, please. I'm Luis Carrazzo. You guys can find me just by putting those two names together on social media. I am finally pulled up like info. So I keep talking about this short film that I'm in called Of Hearts and Castles, which keeps getting into film festivals, which is really exciting. One of the recent ones is the Out Film Festival in Toronto, Canada. Inside Out Film Festival. So it's a really prestigious film festival in Canada. I'm really excited to be there. And then there's like we just found out that we got into a Spanish film festival. It's I'm really happy with it and really proud of it. And follow me if you have any interest in checking it out. There's a lot of opportunities to watch it. I also do film and TV and commercials. I got a couple commercials that are out right now. Last season I was on SWAT and on NCIS LA and LA by Night, which is another tabletop show about Vampire the Masquerade, which was announced that we're definitely coming back for another season. So I play Nines Rodriguez, the vampire baron of downtown Los Angeles. So I pop in and out of that one. Here I play Lampwick, who we all know we're all in deep shit right now. Lampwick is he's got a gun. He's used it a couple times, not usually very well. He's got a spear. Sometimes he uses it pretty okay. What he's really good at is talking. And he was good at that before the apocalypse. He's still good at it now, has managed to talk his way out of death a few times. But it doesn't look like the people that we're dealing with right now are very chatty. So I hope everybody else here keeps me alive.
We'll have to see. That's a lot of responsibility to put on a number of individuals who are barely surviving themselves. We wish to thank each and every one of you for supporting Rag and Bone over these past few months. If you've not already, you can make your way to Drive-Thru RPG and download an entire slew of free content that we've created for the Outbreak Rag and Bone universe. It is absolutely free with no cost to you, and in downloading it, you'll be able to learn and receive a little more of a intimate introduction to the world of this campaign. You can also engage directly in what the next releases may be and learn more about the player characters and what their character sheets hold. Also, due to the support of all of you within our chat, the audience has gathered together enough competency points for the individuals here that they will be receiving one additional competency. That is only through your generosity, as we require 15 subscriptions a week or 100 follows. Over the course of our time here with you, we have released special VHS playback tapes and other rewards. We wish to continue to do that. So we ask that you continue to engage with us, and we thank you for your endless support. There's a long road ahead of us. It's very dark. Our characters are lost in the middle of the woods. We should get moving before it's too late. We'll be right back. The world ended on Monday, May 29th, 1995. The sky fell, and the dead would not die. Civilization quickly collapsed, and the sickness spread like lightning to even the most remote reaches of the world. They called it many things, but it started out simply as another round of the summer flu. It became something much, much worse. H195 was commonly called the Legacy or the Reaper's Kiss. And the dead, once infected and they had passed away, became even more infectious. Their rotten corpses did not lie peacefully. They rose in a mockery of life like marionettes on unseen strings. At first, it seemed as if no one was immune to the airborne strain of the virus, but eventually it appeared that 0.01% of the population had a natural immunity. However, that minuscule population of lucky souls couldn't withstand a concentrated introduction of the virus through a bite, or a deep scratch, or blood-on-blood contact. The virus couldn't be stopped. Science and civilization crumbled. There was nothing that could be done. The only thing anyone could do is try to save themselves. The end of days were like wildfire, and throughout the world, people desperately sought security and sanctuary where there was none to be had. Entire cities burned to the ground, but miraculously, some survived. And for the next 25 years, life has struggled forward. The apocalypse is over. This is what was left behind. The world now is a fractured place. But some seek to make civilization anew, to start over, to bring people back together. The Ender's Line is a group of rag and bone merchants who do just this. They use old railway tracks to connect the small and scattered outposts and settlements that are dotted across what was once known as the Midwestern United States and beyond. Everything is new. And in the rusted, desiccated corpse of the world that we once knew, the Ender's Line works to try to bring hope to those who need it. They are a lifeline in a world that now belongs entirely to the dead. Achira. You're not sure what the date is any longer. For a while, after everything fell apart, you were able to keep track. You had a notebook, a small place that you would make hashes, little marks to denote that a day had passed. Somewhere along the line, you'd lost count. You're safe, though. You're no longer home. You rode a sea container, a shipping container, over a number of state lines and have found yourself in a military base for reserve forces, some distance outside of the city that was once known as Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is gone, for the most part. There are suburbs, other places that you've heard rumor people still live. The military isn't in control, not of any government. But in your new home, the military is control. They maintain everything here. There is a force that has sequestered themselves. You've been told that they spend much of their time planning rescue missions, stepping out into the wild world and saving those who need saving. And you've been here for quite a while. Time has blurred. The things they have asked you to do, the things they have made you do, so that you would be able to stay with them in these walls, behind these cinder block walls that are safe, that are removed from the dead. Layers of fences like a prison shelter you from the truth of the world outside. And you've paid for that security very handsomely. You've killed. You've murdered. At their order. Those that are too weak. Those that would take valuable resources and ultimately drag the community down. You know that those who are here are seen as strong, young, capable. You know that that is the primary prerequisite to keep your life within this group. Many of the soldiers are still quite young. Not much older than you. They don't question commands. And at first, you did. Will you describe to us what this room looks like?
It's very efficient, this room. Everything is military-like style. Everything is tucked within its corners. A quarter could bounce off of any bed that you look at. There's not a lot of personal effects. In fact, it's kind of frowned upon to have that. In fact, Achira has seen more than one person looking at her askance just for having her notebook that she writes her thoughts and marks the days passing in. It's like you need to be part of the machine. Otherwise, you need to be taken care of.
You're sitting there on your bed. This small little notebook and a worn down pencil is on your lap. The room is dark. There's a single bulb that is running off of a generator, and it flickers and then goes dark. It's not uncommon. The leader of this place is Captain Hurst. He's a middle-aged man with a permanent scowl. He has a broad, flat jawline. He looks like a classic Marine. He's always meticulously groomed, even now, even after everything that's happened. He's seen as a leader worth following by the soldiers here. They don't question anything that he says. When you were discovered in your hiding place as a stowaway, you were given an opportunity to make a choice. And you made that choice. And Captain Hurst has treated you with respect, but there is a very clear, unspoken understanding. If you cross him, if you cross any of the soldiers here, your usefulness ends, and so does your protection. so does the life that you have found here. It will be taken away, and you will be thrown back into the wild. Thankfully, you don't see the captain as much these days. You're in charge of the nursery. There is a group of children that you have been watching over. Your primary role is as caretaker to them, and every day it seems that their numbers grow. More and more of them are brought in from the wilds. The units that go on patrol often bring children back, and no one else. There's a knock on your door.
Achira hides her notebook in her back pocket.
The light flickers and turns back on, but it's still dim. You put the notebook in your back pocket. Do you answer the door?
Yes.
You move towards the door, and the large, heavy metal door swings open. Leaning on the doorframe on the other side, you see a young man. Dark eyes that are gleaming mischievously, and a smile that never leaves his face. His name is Riggs. Honey bunny, look at you. You know, the apocalypse, it suits you well.
What do you want, Riggs? I thought I had some downtime right now.
You don't.
I mean,
you don't.
I
no,
don't?
no.
Didn't I earn it?
Look, civilian, I do what I can, but you know, I'm not exactly in a position of authority here yet. Mark my words, though. Give me a couple of years. You wanna step out? Maybe we'll take a little walk.
Of course. I wasn't doing much of anything anyway.
Yeah, we'll make it quick. And Riggs kind of smiles as he kind of turns back and waits for you in the hall.
Achira looks around the room for a second and then just heads out.
The two of you walk through the very meticulously kept hallways. Everything is clean, and there are shipments that are often brought in. The primary goal of the units that have left are to gather and begin to store large numbers of crates and shipping containers that have been waylaid by the government in certain installations. They're being brought here to what used to be this reserve military base, and they're being stockpiled. Along with the occasional additional survivor, there are other civies that live here. Most of them help to maintain the location, either as contractors who will build and clean and cook and help to support the soldiers and the rest of the staff here. While it's not glamorous by any stretch of the imagination, it's a good life considering what the alternatives currently are. Outside of the fences and the walls, as you and Riggs step out of this flat cinder block building that has been painted this beige, there are a number of flagpoles. There is the Pennsylvania state flag, the United States flag, and the Marine Corps flag that are all flying. The United States flag is at half-mast and has not been raised the entire time that you've been here. There are vehicles and there are people that are milling about, and you and Riggs kind of walk the space as the two of you sort of wander closer to the nursery area. So you're doing all right, all things considered, right?
Well, you know, it would be great to have some more promised downtime between missions, but otherwise than that, I mean, I'm taken care of. I make sure to take care of others, and I've been doing what I've been told. So
That
I'm
you
not out there.
have. Yeah, I mean, the captain's quite taken. You can't tell from that face of his. It looks like a bulldog got hit with a bat. But I'll tell you, as someone who's a bit of a connoisseur of the human creature, I can tell you right now, the captain, he likes you. And that's a good thing. You know, if you get a lot of work around here, if you're well trusted, if you prove yourself, there's a lot of opportunities for those who are looking for them. And he opens up the door to the nursery for you.
Achira heads in. Something I've noticed. Whenever anybody's brought back, it seems to primarily be children. Are there no people out there? Why aren't we bringing back people too?
Yeah, well, I know you've been on a few outbound missions, and you know you've actually, I mean, damn it, seriously, girl, if you were not just so damn good at helping out here, I would have you on a scouting battalion somewhere, because you can get in and out of a place like a ghost. That shit's impressive to me.
I used to sneak around a lot as a kid with my older brother, so.
Yeah, well, it paid off, let me tell you. No, look, I mean, we've run into people, and I know you haven't been out there much since the shit hit the proverbial fan, but I'll tell you, there are people, but they're not good people. In fact, most of them are downright murderous, and we've got to do what we need to protect our community. So choices have to be made, and usually it's, well, you know, shoot first, ask questions later. He unlocks a door, and then he opens it again, and you see a playroom. And there's a bassinet there.
A baby?
Yeah. So that's the thing.
Where's the mother?
Yeah, I wish I had better news, but, you know, Pinsky said that the bitch just ran at him with a knife, so she's dead. And that means she doesn't have a mother, but I've been calling her Faith.
Pensky killed her.
I mean, she was going to stab him, so, I mean, we can't save people who are going to be murdering us. You know that, Achira. I mean, you're not a child. You just
No.
take care of them, right?
Right. No, I'm not a child, Briggs. That's just, it's really, that's, I mean, you can still feel that that's messed up, right?
Fuck, I don't think I feel much of anything these days other than relief that we're not with them. If you look out there, if you were on one of these missions, Achira, you'd see what this world turned into. I mean, what's it been? We don't even, I mean, 2 years? Is that it?
It's been a very long time. And honestly, the captain has me take care of enough people that you bring back here. I don't necessarily need to go out in the field and do it too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I listen. I really do respect what you're doing here, Achira. Like this is tough. I couldn't fucking do it. I mean, I don't think these kids would be much of a person with me raising them, right? Like, you know, they'd have fucking sailor mouth first of all, and probably real bad attitudes, and then I'd hate them if they started to act like I do. You know, it'd be just a giant clusterfuck.
Yeah, I would not want to see a kid raised by you, Riggs.
So there are two things here. Like, and I talked to the captain about this, and I think he's on board, because I'm absolutely not going to be taking care of this baby, and everybody else that we got on the base right now is, well, they've been given their details, and again, like I said, Hurst really thinks that you're the bee's knees when it comes to this shit, you know. Mama Achira, I guess. But this baby's gonna need like constant attention, and I'm supposed to get you whatever you need. But there's something else about it.
I mean, what else is there besides I'm now base nanny?
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to give up your quarters. You're gonna move in here.
What? I can't. No. That was the one thing. That was the one thing that I got. That's
Look, I don't
the
fucking
reason
make the
why.
rules, Achira. I don't fucking make them.
I was supposed to just have my own space. I do everything else. Riggs. I just needed my own space.
Yeah. You need your time, right? Well, I don't make the fucking rules. I'm not in charge yet. If I was, I'd cut you some fucking slack here. But guess what? I don't. I can't. And this is the life that you're living. So pack your shit up, bring it in here, and set up a cot in the corner because you and Faith are now bunkmates. And look, I'm not in fucking love with all this. I gotta go get that Marcus kid, and I gotta go teach him how to shoot a fucking gun. Because I've been told he's old enough to hold it. So if he's old enough to hold a gun, he's gotta learn how to pull a trigger.
He doesn't like loud noises. That's not gonna go well.
Trust me, Achira,
This
that
isn't
kid
going
is
to go-
gonna get over that shit real fast. Because Uncle fucking Riggs is on the job.
This is not the way any of this is supposed to be.
You tell me how it's supposed to fucking be. I'm supposed to be able to take a weekend off and go get a fucking cheeseburger and watch a movie at the cinema. But that ain't fucking happening. We're hanging on here and we're doing something, but it takes all of us to have to, sacrifice more than we want. So I'm gonna go teach a fucking kid how to fire a gun, and you're gonna move your stuff over here. And when I come back, I'll see if I can't get you some extra rations, and maybe we can get a key to the janitor's closet across the way, and you can set your cot up in there. You just got to be close. This is a fucking baby.
I hear what you're saying. I'm just saying that I don't know if this will work for me. You say sacrifice, but it just feels like I keep on. It's almost Riggs, if I didn't know better, it's almost like you enjoy this. It feels like every time I do something right, something else gets taken away, and I don't understand. And I'm just telling you that this isn't going to work for me.
I'm sorry, Achira. Fuck. I've given you entirely the wrong impression. I like you just fine, but I don't have a fucking choice about it. I'm enlisted. My commanding officer told me to do something. And what you need to do is stop pretending like you're free. It'll be better for all of us.
I'll go get my things.
I knew you'd come around, honey bunny.
You know, I think I'd prefer it if you didn't call me that.
You walk out the door. It closes. You hear baby Faith crying. As you gather your items, all of your personal gear, your handful of things shoved into a bag, you make your way back across the campus. You see Riggs outside. You hear the baby crying in the nursery. Riggs has a target set up against a tree. Little Marcus is there, crying, holding a pistol in his hands. Riggs is yelling at him. You gotta pull the trigger like you're pulling a tit. Don't fucking jerk it again, you brat. The gun fires. There. Wasn't so fucking bad. Give me that. Marcus continues to cry. Riggs reloads the weapon, checks it, puts it back in Marcus's hand. You're walking across this campus. And the weight of your situation is truly sinking in. As you look up, you see the second-story window of the commanding officer's barrack. You see Hurst standing in the window looking down at you. His face immobile. And then you see a smile. Lampwick, you're on the other side of the ATV. The arrows have been flying over your head now, striking into the tree around you. You see Rowan off to one side, lying in a ditch, just to your right. Faith and Omar were both making their way across the pathway and had been fired upon. You saw Omar shove Faith to the ground, but arrow fire was everywhere. It's silent. There is no report of a gun, just a whistling sound. And then the shaft of an arrow appears. You have no warning where they're coming from. They're silent. These attackers that are in the woods, all around you. You don't think, despite your shouting, your attempts to bargain and negotiate with them from a distance, you don't think they're the bargaining type. And you think they're toying with you. If they're as good with this weapon as they seem to be, they could have had you all dead by now. Another arrow flies over the ATV and strikes a tree in front of you. Rowan, you have a few of your weapons with you, but most of them are still on the ATV inside. You have your pistol in your hand. You're lying in the dirt. You see Lampwick across the way. Would you both describe yourselves in this situation? And then you can talk to one another if you choose.
You can go ahead first if you'd like to, Lampwick.
Oh boy. Who is closest to me?
Rowan. There's another of the Citadel soldiers that's perhaps 20 feet away from Rowan, a little further down in the tree line.
Mm-hmm.
The pathway that you traveled from that cabin, the one that you thought you could escape down once the ATV was brought back online. That pathway dips down on either side into the wilderness around you. These forests are heavy here. The trees are stacked upon one another, and there are cliffs and heavy drops as you've escalated up the side of a mountain. This is dangerous territory, and there's a tree blocking the road. The ATV cannot go any further. Kusanagi is somewhere ahead of you. He was working on it alongside another of the Citadel members, known as Inez. And Inez and Kusanagi, however, are nowhere to be seen.
Great. So we had been working on removing that log, and it's still there. Not enough has. It's still blocking the car.
Yes, it is blocking the ATV. As I said before, it would be hours worth of work. And despite the fact that all of you were chopping away at this thing, it's a massive tree.
Oh. Rowan, what do we do? We're stuck. They're toying with us.
Yeah. I don't think you're gonna be able to talk your way out of it this time.
No. If they wanted to kill us, they would have killed us by now. As these like arrows are going over our heads.
That makes me more nervous though, because see, usually people who don't want to like kill you right away have other plans for you, sometimes worse than death.
And there's no one like so we've scattered. Like I don't know where Inez is. I don't know where Kusanagi is. These guys, Chira and Digger, are somewhere else, and Faith isn't nearby either.
You know where Faith is. You can see Faith, but she's pretty far away from you, probably about 30 feet on the ground in the middle of this pathway, completely exposed right now. However, Achira and Digger, you have a general idea of where they are because you heard Digger screaming in pain.
I want to get the fuck out of here. And I don't know how. You're the Rowan, tell me that you brought something. You got something up your sleeve, some hidden little toy on this thing that the Citadel gave you.
I mean, here's the only thing I can think to do. Run. I think that's good. I think the ATV at this point lost. We can come back for it, kill them all later with the bigger group, get our toys back. But at this point in time, I think we should just bolt.
I think we should. What about that guy? And I'm pointing at the other Citadel person. How valuable is he to you?
How valuable is this individual to run?
Yeah, so the other soldier that has been traveling with you this entire time is known as Jack. And he's been a competent soldier, but he's one of the younger people that have been raised outside of the Citadel and then brought in. He's not like Faith and Omar, who have value because they are pure Citadel. They've been raised at the Citadel, trained by the Citadel. Their loyalty is unquestioned. Jack Flash to his friends, is as an outsider, a little cocky and doesn't always follow instructions. Commands are seen as suggestions sometimes. And that's just how it is with him. But the last thing that you had him on was guard duty for Kusanagi. Just so happened that he ended up getting stuck with all of you when you took this mission.
How I want to kind of see if I can assess him. Does he look like he is keeping it together, or is he not doing so great?
Well, given that question, I'm going to make a composure roll for him. Not doing great at all. Sweating and is holding their pistol, and you can see that the chamber is empty. They've not even reloaded, and they're just breathing heavily, panting almost, and sweat is pouring down their face. They're pretty thin, but they they have a dark mustache that has been trimmed back a little, and you can see that their mustache is just covered in sweat.
Rowan, this guy's gonna die, one way or the other.
100,000%. He's not really one of ours. We just kind of picked him up. So you remember how you said they might not want to kill us? Well, that could be good news for him. He can be one of theirs. Now, what is your plan?
My plan is that he's our way out. If this car right here is done and that guy's done, then we need to make him be the focus so we can get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Send them down that other way really loudly, and hopefully that will give them take their attention and give us enough time to make it that way as fast as we can.
I need both of you to make dodge rolls for me.
Shit.
There is the faint sound of leaves rustling. And then 2 arrows shoot out of the darkness at both of you. Lampwick, you have 2 degrees of success, which is just enough to allow you to evade this arrow that hits the dirt right next to you just as you roll out of the way. Oh. They seem to be on the other side now, shooting back directly at you. You think you're exposed. Rowan, you have 2 degrees of failure here. Do you want to do anything about that?
Yes, I will spend 4 competency to make that 2 degrees of success to also avoid the arrow.
With 2 degrees of success, you not only roll out of the way as the arrow strikes the ground next to you, you know where it came from. You can't see the individual that fired it, but you have a 20 on them.
I'll point it out to Lampwick. That son of a bitch is shooting us is right there. And after I point at him, I'm gonna start moving like very carefully over towards Jack Flash. Let me go talk to this kid and send him over to the ATV if you want to take a shot at those assholes.
I mean, if she points out where he is, where this person is, I'm gonna draw and shoot. Because now, if I can tell that this was meant to hit us and kill us, then that changes things. They're not toying with us now; they're coming for us.
You don't think it was, because of your 2 successes, I'll tell you this. You don't think it was meant to kill you. It would have hit your leg. They're trying to prevent you from running.
I'm going to get on... the log is near us, right?
Yeah, it's ahead of you. You could make a run for it. It's about probably 10 feet away.
I'm going to... shit. And how far is the car?
Well, you're leaning up against the back of the car, the ATV.
I'm going to position myself. I'm just going to reposition myself around the car so that the car is in between me and where the arrow came from.
You're going to the front of the car. So the ATV, you reposition yourself. You're not going to fire now. Is that correct?
No, not going to fire.
All right. So, Rowan, you move over to this Jack Flash character, and he looks to you and is shaking. The Lieutenant, I'm trying to cover us. You should step back. I'll take care of this.
Exactly. That's what I need you to do. Now's your chance to be a hero. I need you to go out there, and I point to the other side of the ATV, kind of like intentionally putting him right out in front. Go over there, and I'll point out where they are to him. Get those assholes. They're up there in that tree by that way. Just shoot. Just make sure you get them.
All right. I can do this. I can do it, boss. Loads the gun. 1, 2, 3, and jumps up off the ridge and starts running through the road. As soon as Jack's feet hit the ground, the whistle of an arrow pierces through his skull, and he flies backwards.
I'll look back at Lampwick. That did not buy us as much time as I think either of us had hoped. Can we get out of here now?
Gotta get the fuck out of here.
Faith,
fuck.
You are on the ground. You have been pushed there by your brother, who Omar was scouting the other side of the ridge. As it turns out, you were about to be shot, correct? You've already been hit once?
Yes.
And where did that arrow strike you?
I kind of can't remember, but I do know that it was a 2 and a 1 that hit me.
Yeah, so it's a 2 and a 1 on your damage track, meaning that since you have a threshold of 6, if you get 3 more damage in any combination or more, you have to move that over and you're wounded. So what I'm going to say is that it's a deep scratch, and it passed through your armor, but it has only grazed your leg. And so it's not still embedded, but it's trapped in your armor, and you've broken the shaft of it when you dropped to the ground after your brother pushed you. Omar, however, has taken an arrow to the shoulder from his back and drops to the ground next to you, and he's wincing in pain, and you see the shaft of this handmade arrow sticking out of his back.
Oh, fuck, that's not fucking good. All right, Omar, how you feeling? Maybe don't move.
Faith. Listen to me. Run. Don't think about me. Don't look back. Just go. And he pushes you.
Are we around us? Is there anywhere that I could drag him to cover?
If you wanted to try to grab him and drag him. You could pull him to the left or the right and drag him off the road. However, you've got a solid 5 feet of dirt before you drop down into the overgrowth on either side. So the choice is up to you. You would have to make a lift pull, and you'd have to be pretty successful to be able to do it quickly. You're hanging in the wind here, Faith. What do you want to do?
I do that thing. I lift pull. Oh, God damn it.
All right. So make a lift pull. Now, listen, you've been shot.
Yeah.
Your brother is considerably larger than you are. I'm going to add 1 black die of difficulty.
Okay.
So you can roll and see how you do.
Lift, pull. Could I use any gear? No. Climbing gear, recon gear.
You could use your climbing gear.
Okay.
To try to create leverage if you choose to wrap a rope around your brother and sort of drag him like a sled as opposed to trying to pick him up.
Yeah, let's drag brothers like sleds. We're doing this.
All right.
Okay. Here we go. Difficulty and
So that is 2 degrees of failure, Faith. Do you want to let that ride, or do you want to spend some of your competency in this moment?
I will spend some competency. I get +2 in the woods anyway, so I will use 4 total to make it 2 degrees of success.
All right. So with 2 degrees of success, you do manage to pull your brother as arrows fly around you. You realize they could have hit you. They're not.
Huh.
You drag your brother into the ditch, however, and both of you fall into the underbrush. He sort of winces as he hits the ground again, and he looks at you, and he breaks the shaft of the arrow off in his shoulder so that he doesn't cause himself to bleed any further. He then puts pressure on it. All right. Fine. We'll do it your way. You've always been stubborn.
Yeah, I'm not gonna leave you in the fucking woods with a bunch of weird archers and the bears and come on. You would do the same.
I need to find eyes on the lieutenant. Do you know where she is? Where's Rowan?
It's probably at the car where everyone else is.
Okay.
You were the only one scouting, I think.
Right.
There was probably one other guy. Fuck him.
I only think there's a handful of them. Maybe 3, 4. But they've got us pinned in here. They knew that we were coming. This is definitely a trap.
You know, they didn't shoot at me when I was dragging you away for some reason.
They shot at you. They just didn't hit you.
Oh, I see.
The arrows went around you as opposed to through you.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that they maybe intended to miss.
Okay. I don't know what the end game is for these people in the woods shooting at us. They don't want us to keep going. They want to like hang out and capture us. I don't fucking know. I just want to live.
Yeah, it ain't fucking good. I can tell you that.
Listen, if we have more people here who can maybe deal with those guys, I don't know. You need attention right now. Can I do a first aid check on him to help?
Yes.
I bet bleeding.
Yeah.
Great.
You can.
Oof.
He has been hit. It's a solid hit in the shoulder. But it does seem to have missed any major arteries, and it's the arrow tip is definitely embedded in the bone of his shoulder.
Okay, so this is a first aid roll. Awesome, great.
Go ahead and make the roll, and let's see how you do.
Ooh.
1 degree of failure. Do you want to sit on that, or do you want to do something about it?
Ooh, Brandon's like this competency, real quick. I will spend shit, it's a lot. 3 to make it 2 degrees of success.
All right. So you stop the bleeding. You know that it's best to leave the arrow where it is for now. He's already broken the shaft off, so it's not going to be a problem. It's going to need to be removed before the end of the night, but now's not the time to go fishing around for that arrow tip. You see another arrow on the ground, and the tip of it seems to be, it's a broken shaft. It must have hit somebody's armor, or maybe the ATV and rolled down here with you. It is a jagged piece of metal, scrap metal, and it is rusted. So there are additional dangers to what you're being hit with here. And so you know that there's probably going to be the need for some antibiotics, if not a tetanus shot, which is not something that you can do here.
Okay.
All right, so that is what you get for your competency spent, and we'll come back to you, Faith, as you and your brother Omar cower on the side of the road in the overgrowth, waiting for an opportunity to escape. We know where Rowan and Lampwick are in this moment as they try to reposition themselves. Their distraction didn't distract as much as they would have liked. Somebody was watching you very closely. Achira, where did we leave you? Both you and Digger had opened the trap, the bear trap that he had stepped into when he was speaking with you as you both were moving through this place. Where are you now?
Well, Achira has, to the best of her ability, with 4 successes, did what first aid that she could for Digger, wrapping, bracing it with 2 sticks to not have the full weight be just on his leg. If there was a type of walking stick, she would have also like handed him that. She would have tried to hide him because Achira would be going hunting.
He has been leaning heavily on his shovel, his bladed shovel that he walks with. It's like a staff or a halberd almost. And it's a spade, really. And it is a jagged, sharp weapon that he's cared for and made himself. It works as a shovel. It's able to break ground, but it's also able to remove the head from Romero's very quickly. He's using that to lean on, and the two of you find a group of trees that are large enough for him to kind of sink down into the crook of the root system of one of these trees. And he looks to you. I'm gonna be fine. You just need to get going. Just get moving and I'll be here.
All right. Do what you do, and
Achira, I might disappear, and if I do, if I can, I'll find you again. But you be careful with those people you're traveling with.
I just need to make it to the shepherds. There's something that I need to know. Once I know that, I know how to act. That's the only reason why I'm staying now. Well, there's Faith and Omar, but I would still leave. I just need answers.
If you see 10-4, you let him know. I'm still out here, and I'm not giving up until we do what needs to get done.
I'll let him know.
He nods and kind of looks out the haunted way that he kind of gazes across the forest. You don't think he's giving up, but you know that he sees the challenge in front of him very clearly. You move through as you begin hunting. I'd like for you can use your recon gear if you like, but I'd like for you to make a search check. That's 1 degree of failure, Achira. Do you want to fail at this, or are you willing to use some of your competency points?
I'll use some of the competency. I'll use 3 to make it 2 degrees of success.
As soon as you step closer to the road, you're in the middle of a trap that's been set, and it is a location hazard. So you now have 2 degrees of success, is that correct?
Yes.
With 2 degrees of success, Achira, you quietly move through the woods. It's still night and it's cold, and you control your breath. You're careful about where you step. You start moving your way closer to the road. You hear shouting and the whistle of arrows. You hear screams, gunfire. And then it's quiet. You see someone, a ragged figure, dressed in fur and hand-stitched leather like a trench coat. They have a hood over their head. You can't see their face. They're crouched on a tree branch above you, looking down. In their hands, a handmade leather-wrapped bow adorned with black feathers. They have an arrow nocked, and they're training it along the other side of the road. You don't see what's on the other side there, but they seem to see something. And they have the arrow at the ready. What do you do?
I have a compound crossbow that she has on her, like as a hand.
Yes.
I'm going to shoot him off the high ground.
Very well. You prepare your shot. I'm going to assume that you had it ready to go as you started to stalk through the woods. Go ahead and roll for your attack as the bolt shoots forth into the darkness.
Okay. Previously, when I had utilized this, we did it under pistol.
You can do that, yes. You pull back and fire, Achira, and you have 1 degree of failure. Do you wish to let that stand?
No.
Very well.
All right. There's no headshot that's attached to this, like with the long gun. But all right.
It's
I'm
not
going...
the same, no.
Yeah, it's not the same at all. I'm more used to the long gun. I'm going to use 2, 3, 4. 4 competency points, making this 3 degrees of success. I'm trying to be stealthy with this.
Your bolt finds home. You strike the individual in the neck, and they shout as they drop to the ground with a heavy thud, dropping from the tree, dead. The body's lying in front of you.
When I shot them in the neck, did it go through to the head, or do I need to go over and...
It was very dark. Your victim was in a tree. You're not certain, but the body is lying in front of you if you'd like to look at it.
Sure. Have to make sure.
You start moving through quietly towards the body. The figure, still wrapped in this hand-stitched leather coat, has their face concealed by the hood. They're lying on their back. You see the shaft of your bolt pierce through the hood. There's a thick, dark spot where blood has poured forth. You see a mass of wild, stringy hair with beads and scattered in front of you like a waterfall. The body lies there. Their hands are open. You can see them. They're pale and dirty. Their fingernails are blackened with dirt and grime. They're not breathing.
I want to retrieve my bow shaft and also stick them in the head with my knife.
You pull the bolt from their neck with a wet, slurping noise as the suction of the wound fights against you. The individual doesn't move. You take your knife, and with a cracking noise, you pierce through the skull to their brain. They've been neutralized, just as you've been taught all those years ago. Military precision, quick, careful movements. I'd like for you to make a spot listen check, however. One degree of success. Still not enough. Do you want to do something about it? You need 2 more degrees of success.
Then I shall use them.
You're spending 2 more competency to make it 3 degrees of success, which defeats their stealth. There's someone behind you. They think you don't know. You hear the very careful stretch of a bowstring. And we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Thank you for being with us.